This week on Machinery Pete TV, we return to the Mike Stetzel online retirement auction with a look at his pre-def 09 Case IH 6088 combine. We'll look at a pair of massive John Deere 8020s. And Pete looks at year-to-year values on the classic John Deere 4755.
Your machinery is a serious investment and at the heart of every farming operation. Some call it a passion. We're Machinery Pete TV, and today we'll cover everything from auction roundups to the classics to the latest trends and technology. Machinery Pete, the most trusted name in farm equipment.
Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. For farmers working to lift, change, and repair tires, check out the Tire Grabber at thetiregrabber.com. No other corn head works like a Drago or pays you back like one. Visit your Drago dealer and see how you can justify owning a Drago on ROI alone. Hey folks, welcome to Machinery Pete TV. It's been a little over 34 years now I've been building this fun Machinery Pete business. Thank you for all your support along the way. Also been 34 years I've been married to Mrs. Machinery Pete. We have two daughters and they both married Indiana boys. One from Valparaiso and one from Garrett, Indiana. So always fun to come back to Indiana. And today we're in Warren, Indiana for the online farm retirement auction for Stetzel Farm. Some really beautiful equipment, including a Case IH 6088 combine you're not going to want to miss. But first, we got to go back to the studio and get the latest farm equipment news.
All right, thanks Pete. I'm Clinton Griffiths. U.S. corn prices right now are continuing to move lower, and it's a big concern for farmers with millions of bushels from last year still sitting in bins. The last time the spot month price for corn fell below $4 was back in November of 2020. Now the recent slide in prices has been the perfect storm of growing ending stocks for corn, but also recent fund and farmer liquidation with a large chunk of the crop still unsold. Now the U.S. corn market has been hitting multi-year lows as it transitions to much larger supplies of corn that have outpaced demand. So ending stocks have been growing to their current 2.17 billion bushel mark, with farmers still storing those large inventories. Now the ag finance community is reminding producers to preserve working capital and look ahead at 2024. A loss for many in the cattle business after a massive fire at a cattle auction barn in Illinois last weekend. Crews were called Saturday evening to the Rock Island Cattle Auction in Rock Island, Illinois. When they arrived, they found heavy fire coming from the back side of the building. Now, there were approximately 23 head of cattle inside that building at the time. One perished in the fire. They say no people were injured. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. That's it for news. Now let's check on some recent auctions from around the country.
Today, when you're looking for a way to harvest more corn, you can count on Drago to get the job done. With self-adjusting deck plates, more aggressive gathering chains, and longer knife rollers for less ear bounce, Drago corn heads make every hybrid yield better. You'll like their durability too. No other corn head works like a Drago, or pays you back like one. Visit your Drago dealer and see how you can justify owning a Drago on ROI alone.
Inger Manson Farms of Solomon, Kansas is selling farm equipment in a realignment auction ending March 20th. Don't miss this rare opportunity to name your price for late model, low hour John Deere equipment, including a 2022 X9 combine, a 2018 9620 RX quad track, an 1890C air seeder, an R4038 sprayer, headers, grain carts and trailers, and additional support equipment. Bidding is open now and closes March 20th, so don't wait. Get started now at purplewave.com.
Hey folks, Machinery Pete here. You've got to try this. The power of foam is the only way to clean and degrease your equipment. Simply foam it on, give the foam a few minutes to work, and power wash it off. Cuts grease and your wash time significantly. The foam won't harm electrical sensors or controls. It neutralizes and washes away farm chemicals and is safe to use on most surfaces. Call 888-996-7801 or go online to check out their dealer locator at poweroffoam.com to find the power of foam near you. Bidding begins to close on Cowan Farms online farm auction Monday, March 18th in Ernle, North Carolina at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Sale by Jason Aycock Auctioneering. John Deere 8235R with 1,962 hours, one owner. Super Sharp John Deere 9570 SDS Combine with 1,650 SEP hours, one owner operator. 1988 International S1900 Grain Truck. Great Plains 2400 TM 24-foot Turbomax, like new blades and bearings. Go to Jason Aycock Auctioneering for info and bidding. Hey folks, I'm here with the owner, Mike Stetzel with Stetzel Farms here in Warren, Indiana. Now Mike, tell people about Warren, Indiana. What's it like?
Oh, it's about 1,250 people. Small community, mostly farming.
And you grew up, like, literally right here.
Right here, down the next house down.
Okay. Now, Mike, as a young guy growing up playing basketball in Minnesota high school in the 80s, my dad would tell me stories about, oh my gosh, Indiana high school basketball. And you and your buddies, I've met some of your high school teammates here. You had some good teams back in the day, didn't you?
We had some pretty good teams now and then. It was a lot of fun back then when it was packed. And
high school gyms were packed every Friday night?
Yeah, that's what you did every Friday night.
Right. Now you stayed with it and kept playing sports into your 30s and 40s.
Yeah. You slow down, you have to quit that.
What kind of ball player were you, Mike? Were you a guard? Were you a forward?
Oh, I played shooting guard and forward.
Okay.
I coached them after that too.
And you had 4 or 5 kids?
Well, I've got 5.
And they were kind of ball players too?
Most of them played basketball and football, some baseball.
Folks, I'm here with my friend Zach Heiner with Merit Auctions. And Zach, we got kind of an interesting corn head here, a number of reasons. Let's start off with the fact that it's just a 6-row. Don't see those every day.
Yep, 6-row, and then if you get up there, and I left the monitor in the combine just in case anybody doubted me, it's got 2 seasons of use on it, and Mike only farmed 500-600 acres right here. It's got less than 50 hours on that corn head.
Right, and I think it was an NS 600. Yeah, so a 6-row with hardly any use on it, finding the right fit is going to be the key here. So again, in the online world we live in, and of course Merit Auctions, you guys pull bidders from all over North America. A 6-row head could go a lot of different directions.
Well, that's kind of been the talk of whether it's going to stay with the combine or not. Some people have definitely want it and keep it together, and then some other people have already got ahead, just upgrading machines. So that's going to be interesting there to see. But I've talked to a lot of people, not necessarily at this sale, but people that have ran these heads in the past, and they just absolutely love them.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see if it stays with the combine, won't it? But you've had people verbalize that they want to keep it together?
Yeah, a few people have, but I've talked to a lot of people that had they're upgrading from a 2388, 2188, and that era combine, and they're going to keep their older heads. So we'll see how they get along.
This is a little scary, isn't it? We have an 09 combine, and we're already sitting here. It's 15 years old now. The head is much newer, but that's the thing about all these auctions, Zach. These pieces of equipment, what's it going to bring? But then where does it go these days too? Because you guys send stuff all over the place.
The where's it going to go always intrigues me more than what's it going to bring. I think me being in the business as long as I have, I don't want to pat myself too much, but I think we do a really good job advertising. And if you visited with Mike earlier, the calls that he's had from different parts of the country. So what's it going to bring? I don't ever try to get too smart on that, because if you did your job advertising and he's serious about selling it, obviously he's having an absolute retirement sale today, it's going to bring what it was worth. Now there's always some dips in the sales, highs and lows. Right. But I don't get hung up on the what's it going to bring. It intrigues me more on where did it go and how did it get put back together.
You did bring up no reserve, which I know with you guys is a core. So that is that with Merit Auctions just a piece of how you guys roll?
Yeah, you know, it's you know, there's some different companies that do it a little different, but we don't have any trouble staying busy. We've been blessed to be staying busy. So if somebody's not really serious about selling it and they just want an appraisal, there's some sales that I've turned down because some people won't sell it absolute, you know, and it's just something that you got to
trust the process.
Most of the time, just talk through it with them. You know, it's, you know, some people are a little scared about it, but you know, hey, I'm more than willing to make a trip or make a 10-hour trip to sit down and explain it to them and visit with them and give them, you know, people that were in the same boat when they had that question. But, you know, if there's a piece or two that sometimes are just really super worried about, or, you know, it was a piece that my dad had or somebody had, and I'll only let it go if it brings this, I just suggest that they keep it. And a lot of times that's what they do. Right. But if it's in our sale, it's going to sell, and it's absolute, yes.
Here are a few more items that sold on today's sale.
Well, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. So we're gonna be taking off these 800 metric Goodyear LSWs and putting on 320s, narrow ones. Man, that tire grabber system is incredible. I think it took us less than 45 minutes to change them for the first time. I guarantee you it's gonna be quicker than that next time.
Best way I've seen to fix faded paint? Dakota Shine. Made in South Dakota by Dakota Ag Innovations, a company with a 20-year history of working with top construction equipment manufacturers, now offering Dakota Shine to the farm community to help you keep your equipment looking like new and retain more value when it comes time to sell or trade. Key active ingredient from corn, soy derivatives. Order online at dakotashine.com or visit your regional farm stores to pick up your Dakota Shine today. What's that piece of equipment worth? Check out Machinery Pete's auction prices for the answer. Free to view, updated daily, all types of equipment. Go to machinerypete.com and click on the auction tab, then auction price data. Folks, I'm here with Zach Heiner with Merit Auctions, and Zach, we're kind of in your home ground here in Warren, Indiana. You grew up, what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes away?
Yeah, Warren's on the south end of Huntington County, and I was on the north end of Huntington County. But yeah, this is always my home county right here, born and raised.
Now, Zach, when you sent me a great video preview of this sale. Thank you for doing that. You did an awesome job. Walking down this row of red tractors, this is an impressive line right here.
Yeah, this is a unique line, impressive line. I mean, you know, there's nothing really super rare about any of these tractors. Maybe the 786, you know, you don't see a lot of the open station 786s.
Just solid.
Just solid, and they all have a history that Mike can tell you about, or, you know, it's just it wasn't just a piece here, a piece there tractor. I mean, these tractors have been on this farm right here a long time.
This is the type of equipment, Zach, and you're plugged in as anybody I know, that demand for this stuff is strong because a guy like Mike has cared for it, and yeah, it's not the newest stuff, but like we said, it's just solid.
Oh yeah, you'll take double or triple the calls on a sale like this is when I have a late model, you know. I mean, this is the people that want to call, they want to know more of the history, and you know, and when you got a sale with a 2-3-year-old machine with a couple hundred hours, what kind of questions is there to ask? Yeah, I mean, these sales do generate a lot more calls, a lot more interest, and it's also, you know, a little bit older, different type of buyer. You know, the younger buyer. Now, this sale is online only here today, and, you know, I do that thing a little bit different than a lot of companies. I mean, we're here at inspection today. I had 2 inspections. My guys are set up in the barn in there, and when somebody tells me they're not comfortable doing it, Hey, I tell them they can come back sale day and bid. Now, I'm not advertising it's a live auction,
right.
but there'll be 10, 15 people here sale day that's just older people that aren't comfortable with the internet, don't have good internet, and this is that type of sale. You need to accommodate those people.
Folks, I tell you what, I've never met a guy that owns 2 John Deere 8020s until today. Lee Potter of Wilcox, Nebraska. Lee, this is a beautiful machine you have here.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud.
Now your restored one is out on the lot.
Yes.
But they put this one right under in the middle of the show floor for a reason. This is a beautiful original, isn't it?
Yes, I've looked at this tractor for probably 10 years. I've taken friends down to see it. It was 168 miles from my doorstep to theirs. Okay. And finally, one day, they sold it to me. Or the owner that I bought it from kept saying how it would polish up, and I kept saying, oh, it needs paint. I finally caved in to his wishes. I'm glad I did.
A lot of people wonder about these 8020s. Deere came out with them. They actually were 8010s when they came out in 60?
Yeah, in 60 they made 100 8010s, okay, and sold one the first year. And so from that point forward, they would, the year they sold them, that's what year they were, okay, through 64.
Now, were you saying, Lee, you have some original paperwork on this thing?
I've got the original bill of sale. I've got the bill of sale from the guy that I bought it from. Okay. And he did all right. He had it for 32 years. Yep. He paid $8,750 for it.
$8,750. Yeah, they've appreciated slightly, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
Well, folks, already a couple times in season 11 of Machinery Pete TV, we've seen good condition, pre-def combines sell well, and I tell you what, our feature item on the show today could be another one, an 09 6088, 1,382 step hours. Check out the new Cooperative Incorporated Excess Equipment Online Auction, Tuesday, March 12th, featuring nearly 300 equipment lots from their various Iowa locations. Sale by DPA Auctions. 42 anhydrous equipment items selling, including 18 toolbars, 14 sprayers with 4 John Deere R4038s and 3 R4045s, 3 Rogator sprayers, 4 dry machines, including a 2019 Case H Titan 4540. Go to dpaauctions.com for info and bidding.
Today, when you're looking for a way to harvest more corn, you can count on Drago to get the job done. With self-adjusting deck plates, more aggressive gathering chains, and longer knife rollers for less ear bounce, Drago corn heads make every hybrid yield better. You'll like their durability too. No other corn head works like a Drago, or pays you back like one. Visit your Drago dealer and see how you can justify owning a Drago on ROI alone.
The only way I've seen to safely clean aluminum grain on stock trailers is Bright Plus Aluminum Cleaner from Dakota Ag Innovations. With over 15 years of proven performance cleaning all types of aluminum, the results speak for themselves. Dirty, stained, and discolored aluminum trailers don't stand a chance against Bright Plus Aluminum Cleaner. Safely improve the appearance of your aluminum trailers at home and make a statement with Bright Plus. Order today at trailercleaner.com or find Bright Plus Aluminum Cleaner at a farm store near you.
Got equipment to sell privately but tired of scams and hassles? Visit MachineryPete.com and click Sell Mine. MachineryPete.com, the simple and secure way to buy and sell equipment online.
Folks, back here with Zach Heiner with Merit Auctions. Zach, our feature on the show today, man, nice combine, 09, 6088, 1382 step hours, 2106. Nice rig here.
Yeah, just a hard machine to find. When you look at the age of the machine, I think 09, you go back, look at the age of them and find one of these hours on it. Mike farmed 500 to 600 acres right here all together. Right. Just going to be a real tough machine when you start looking at comparables and trying to find the hours on it.
Very tough.
Local machine, always here. Red Line, the Case IH dealership here is where Mike dealt everything. Combine. Yeah. Come from there. I think he's the second owner, bought it from there, but they had the history on it, and he's had them do all the work on it.
Now these pre-def combines, I had never really written before, Zach, about a trend of pre-def getting outside of the track, maybe skid steers, some sprayers. But boy, in 23, it became clear to me that the pre-def combine market was holding up much better than the later model ones.
Yeah, and like I said, the size of this machine is just. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many calls. That one will fit in my shed. I would run a bigger one, but I'm not building a new shed.
Right.
That we get that all the time when you get this size of machine. And then I've had a lot of calls on this machine from farther east, down south. When the roads get narrow, they want to run a 6-row head. They want to stay on singles.
Right.
It's just a unique setup for that.
Right. Well, it's funny. I mean, with Merit Auctions, you sell equipment and land all over the place. So you're running people out in Kansas and Nebraska with what they need versus people down in Kentucky. Here we are in Indiana. You get up to Minnesota. It really is interesting with the equipment, isn't it? The right fit for the different areas.
Exactly. I can almost tell you when I advertise a sale, and then I start getting a phone call. And of course, I've been all over the country the last 20 years, and I remember area codes that don't even need to come up on my phone. And I can almost tell you when they're calling what piece they're calling on in the sale.
Nice.
On the 786 over here, I'd see the Pennsylvania. Well, that's more likely it's going to be that, or Kentucky. So yeah, it's geographics is a lot when you get to the size.
Well, whoever gets the winning bid clicks that bid button. They're going to get a nice combine, aren't they?
It's going to be curious to see whether the head stays with it. You got a gearing off head here that's only got 2 seasons on it. I think less than 50 hours on that head. Some people had no interest in the head, and other people I'd be curious to see if somebody keeps that package together right there.
Well, auction day is always interesting, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, folks, today let's zero in on a John Deere 4755 tractor. Of course, a lot of love for the 55 series models. Just over 30 years old now, made from the very end of the 1980s to the early 1990s. And I guess what got me thinking about the 55 series was this tractor that sold on an auction February 21st, an online consignment auction by my friends at Kraupy Real Estate and Auction out of western Nebraska. This 1990 model 4755 two-wheel drive, 6,509 hours, very sharp. Sold for $57,500. Very strong price there. Again, given that it's two-wheel drive with over 6,500 hours on it. Now, it's interesting, if we pull back a little bit, here's a look at the average auction price on a John Deere 4755 tractor going back over the last 15 years. And this data, by the way, it's free to view at machinerypete.com. It's updated every day. We want you folks to hop in and look at this data before you buy, sell, or trade any piece of equipment. But it's interesting, you can see the average auction price last year in 2023 at $45,441. There's only one year I've ever seen a higher average, and that was back in 2009. Also interesting to note that the average auction price has actually gone up the last 4 years now. 2020, 21, 22, 23. Of course, the used market's been on fire. You also might notice the high and the low for each calendar year. They're in that number 82,000 sticking out at us like a sore thumb. Here's a picture of that tractor, the all-time record high price ever on a 4755. Just came November 11th of 2023. Farm auction in Orange City, Iowa. This 91 model two-wheel drive, 5,072 hours again, $82,000. And I also find it statistically interesting. Here's a look, but actually the 4 highest auction prices ever on 4755s, all in the last 11 months since March of 2023. Hey folks, thanks for joining us this week on Machinery Pete TV from the Stetzel online farm retirement auction in Warren, Indiana. Always great fun to go back to Indiana, and it was really fun watching Mike's harvest equipment sell on today's show. And I tell you, that feature item, the combine, the 2010 Case IH 6088, 2,106 engine hours on it, $107,000. That's the record highest auction price I've ever seen on a 6088 combine with over 2,000 engine hours. But again, good used pre-def combines been red hot. We'll see you back here next week. Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. For farmers working to lift, change, and repair tires, check out the Tire Grabber at thetiregrabber.com. No other cornhead works like a Drago or pays you back like one. Visit your Drago dealer and see how you can justify owning a Drago on ROI alone.